guys, welcome again. I hope you have revised your last lecture and today we will continue with our next part of frog, that is circulatory system. In last lecture we have already completed the heart of frog. Now we will further move on to next topics of circulatory system. Correct बच्चे? Okay. So we will have a quick revision. When we talk about the circulatory system of frog, we have learned that it was the closed circulatory system that was present in the frog, meaning that blood flow in well-developed closed vessels. We haven't learned the name of that blood vessels right now, but today we will continue with the blood vessels. In the last lecture, we have already covered the heart of frog. What we have read in heart, the heart of frog was dark colored red structure. Remember, first point. Second point, the heart of the frog was covered by a membranous structure that was named as pericardium. Third, we have learned that the heart of frog was myogenic. That is, it does not require any impulse from the outside. The heart itself generates the impulse for its contraction by a node called as sinoatrial node, which is also present in human beings. Clear? Next point we have read that the heart is three-chambered in frog. 2 atria and 1 ventricle, and the 2 additional chamber that was present was sinus venosus and conus arteriosus. The conus arteriosus was also known as truncus arteriosus. Clear? Okay, so I have told you that the conus arteriosus received the mixed blood. That is, it also possesses oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood. Clear? But the arrangement of blood vessels in frog is such that it carries the oxygenated blood to head and brain and deoxygenated blood to lungs of frog and skin of frog. Right? Remember? Okay. So, moving on to circulatory system, we have already completed heart and I had quickly gone through the revision. Now, we will continue with blood vessels. Blood vessels. Just wait a minute. Okay. Just make your notes so proper and well managed. When we talk about blood vessels, we have to go through 3 blood vessels, namely first being arteries, second being veins, third being capillaries. In our circulatory system also we read arteries, veins, capillaries. Clear? Okay. So moving on, we will write the name of 3 blood vessels: arteries, veins, capillaries. Further, moving on to arteries, we remember in our circulatory system that arteries carries blood away from heart. Artery carry blood away from heart to the whole body organs. Which type of blood vessels artery carry? It carries oxygenated blood. But in frog, there are 2 types of arteries, namely carotid artery and pulmocutaneous artery. The carotid artery carry blood to brain and head. So it carry oxygenated blood, right? But the pulmocutaneous, pulmo means lungs, cutaneous means skin. So the pulmocutaneous artery carry deoxygenated blood to lungs and skin. Likewise, in our system, pulmonary artery also carry deoxygenated blood. So this is the exception of artery, that in frog, pulmocutaneous artery carry deoxygenated blood. Likewise, in our system, the pulmonary artery also carries deoxygenated blood. Clear? Okay. So the first point in arteries, ma'am, it carries blood away from heart This is heart of frog, right atrium, left atrium and a single ventricle. It carry blood away from heart to body. Clear? First point clear? Okay. So the arterial system in frog starts with conus arteriosus. Okay? It starts with conus arteriosus. Conus arteriosus, also named as बच्चे truncus arteriosus, also named as ma'am truncus arteriosus. So what happened here? There are two type of arteries, one being carotid artery and second being cutaneous artery. The carotid artery carries oxygenated blood to head and brain. But this is exception. It carries blood to skin. We will write it carries ma'am deoxygenated blood where? To lungs. It is clear. Pulmo means lungs, cutaneous means skin. Okay, to lungs and skin. This was all about the arterial system in frog. Now, we will learn about the venous system, that is veins. When we talk about veins, it is clear that they carry deoxygenated blood towards heart for oxygenation. There is also an exception of vein, that is pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood, right? Pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood. So, the first point, it carries blood towards heart. Exception, ma'am, pulmonary vein. Exception, pulmonary vein, right? So it carries blood towards heart from body. Now what are capillaries? Capillary is thin walled network. Which kinder network? Thin walled network. And what is the role of capillaries? It is helpful for the exchange of nutrients, gases and waste between blood and tissue. It helps in the exchange of nutrients, waste material and gases between blood and tissue. Clear? So what are capillaries? It carries nutrients, gases and waste between between blood and tissue, right? Clear? So further we will move on to the blood vessels are done. Now we will move on to the blood of frog. We will move on to the blood of frog. In blood vascular system, we have divided the blood vascular system in three parts, right? First being the heart, second blood vessels we have to read. We have read already, and then we have to read blood. Okay, so blood. When we talk about the blood of frog, likewise in our blood is consisted of plasma and formed elements, or we can say blood cells, right? Formed elements, or we can say blood cells. Plasma. Okay. So what is plasma? Blood minus formed elements. Blood minus formed elements. When we talk about formed elements in frog, we will talk about three types of blood cells. Red blood cells, also called as erythrocytes. White blood cells, also called as leukocytes. And platelets, also called as thrombocytes. Okay. So first of all, you have to remember the names. Ma'am, one being red blood cells, one being red blood cells, second being white blood cells, and third being platelets. So no question will come outside of all these what I am telling you. All of the questions will be only from this matter, what I am teaching you. Okay. So yeah, when we talk about RBC, like in our RBC, we have oval RBC. The shape is biconvex, but listen carefully. Our RBCs are non-nucleated. They do not carry any nucleus, but the RBC of frog are nucleated. The RBC of frog are nucleated. Only this is the difference between our RBC and RBCs of frog, right? So, ma'am, you have told they are also known as erythrocytes, right? ठीक है. They are oval and biconvex, but they carry a nucleus. This is nucleus. So they are oval, they are biconvex, but they are nucleated. They are nucleated. Star market. This is the difference between our RBC and the RBCs of frog, right? Like our RBC carry a red color pigment, that is hemoglobin, for the transport of oxygen. Their RBCs also carry a red color pigment, that is hemoglobin, for the transport of oxygen. So they have a red color pigment, a red colored pigment called hemoglobin, for transport of oxygen, right? Now, moving on to the white blood cells, like our white blood cells are necessary for providing the immunity, the white blood cells of frog are also necessary for providing the immunity. So, they play the same function as performed by our RBCs, right? So, they provide immunity. They provide immunity. What is the other name of white blood cells? They are also known as bache leukocytes. They are also known as leukocytes. Moving on to platelets. Platelets are also known as thrombocytes, right? Okay. So what is the function performed by platelets in our body? They prevent the leakage of blood from the site of bleeding, or I can say they clot the blood so bleeding get stopped. Our blood is not lost in the excess amount. Our blood is not lost in the excess amount due to the presence of platelets. They act as plug to stop the bleeding. So they prevent bleeding by forming thrombus or clot. Right? So with this we have completed the blood vascular system of frog. Now we will be studying the lymphatic system of frog. Okay. So let's talk about lymphatic system. We have divided the lymphatic system in our last lecture to study in 3 parts. It consists of, like the blood vascular system consists of blood, same the lymphatic system consists of lymph. Like the blood moves in blood vessels, similarly the lymph will move in lymphatic channels. And the last being lymph nodes, right? Okay, so again we will compare the lymph of frog with ourselves. Our lymph is colorless. Likewise, the lymph of frog is also colorless. Why? Due to the absence of RBC. But lymph contains white blood cells. Okay. Lymph do not possess RBC, but it have white blood cells. Also, the lymph contains less protein as compared to blood. Only 3 points are there which you have to remember about lymph. First, ma'am, it is a colorless fluid due to absence of RBC. Second, it contains white blood cells. Third, it has less proteins as compared to that of blood. Okay, clear? Let's write. Colorless fluid due to absence of RBC. So, no RBC, they do not have RBC. No RBC. But have white blood cells. They have less protein as compared to blood. Only these 3 points you have to remember about lymph, right? Moving on to lymph channels, you just have to remember that this is the passage to carry lymph. This is the passage to carry lymph. Okay. Last, moving on to lymph nodes, we will talk in detail about the lymph nodes in Human Health and Disease chapter. Here, you have to remember that they are necessary for trapping microorganisms. They are necessary for trapping microorganisms. In Human Health and Disease, I'll tell you a lot more about this, like it is a lymphoid organ, which kind of lymphoid organ. But here, you only, where it is present, where the lymph nodes are present, like in armpits. But here, only you need to know that, ma'am, they are necessary for trapping microorganism. Okay. So they trap microorganisms. They trap microorganisms, right? So with this, we have completed the circulatory system of a frog. Now we will move on to, we have completed this, right, in last lecture. Now we have moved on to a special circulatory system that is present in us and also in frog. That is named as portal circulation. Firstly, we will know the difference between normal circulation and portal circulation, right? We will know the difference between normal circulation, ma'am, and the portal circulation. Okay. So we will write the pathway of both. Okay. We will firstly write the pathway of both. So when we are talking about normal circulation, the heart pour its blood into aorta. First step, right? Heart pour its blood to aorta. Aorta break down into small vessels called as, ma'am, arteries. Further, arteries broke into many more small vessels, ma'am, called as arteriole. Right? Arteriole carries the blood to organs. Right now, artery carry blood away from heart. I told you already. Organ. Now, veins will carry blood from organs and join to form vena cava. Vena cava further give blood to heart. So see, the circulation started from heart and ended to heart. Okay? We can write simply, ma'am, it is a circulation that is heart, organ, heart. Okay, this is normal circulation. Now, what about portal circulation? Listen carefully, okay? Capillaries of one organ give blood to veins. Now these veins gives blood to capillaries of another organ. Now this blood will move with the help of another vein to heart, right? So see the circulation. See the circulation. Ma'am, organ, two organ, one organ, another organ, and then to heart. So what is portal circulation, ma'am? Organ to organ circulation. What is normal circulation, ma'am? Heart to heart circulation. Clear? Clear? Now we will see the types of portal circulation. When we talk about a human, we learn two type of portal system. One, hypophyseal portal system, and second being, ma'am, hepatic portal system. The hypophyseal portal system is of hypothalamus, but this is absent in frog, right? We study another portal circulation system in frog, that is the renal portal circulation, which is absent in human. The renal portal circulation is absent in human. Okay, so we have to learn the two portal circulations that is present in frog. One, ma'am, hepatic portal circulation, hepatic portal circulation, and the other, ma'am, renal portal circulation, right? Okay, so moving on, what is hepatic portal circulation? It starts from liver and ends at intestine. Clear? Ma'am, it starts with liver and ends at intestine. What happened? The capillaries from liver will carry the blood towards the capillaries of intestine. So these are capillaries of one organ and these are capillaries of another organ. Clear? So the blood will move from the liver to intestine, the capillaries of one organ and the capillaries of another organ. Clear? Clear? Now renal portal system. This is right kidney slightly lower than left kidney. You all already know. This is the connection between the lower body. Hind limbs carry 5 digits, right? The hind limb of frog possess the 5 digits. See, I have drawn the 5 digits, right? So this is the connection between the capillaries of the kidney, and the capillaries of the lower body, right? So kidney and lower body. Through renal vein carries to kidney, then kidney to other vein moves the blood to heart. This is the circulation of renal portal system. Ma'am, there is a connection between kidney and lower body. Clear? We have to read the two portal system and we have already done it. Now, we will read the NCERT. I had already completed till here arterial system. We will move further. Special venous connection between liver and intestine is called as the special venous connection between liver and intestine as well as kidney and lower part of the body are present in frog, right? When the connection is between liver and intestine, we call it as hepatic portal system, and when it is between kidney and lower body, we call it as renal portal system. The blood is composed of plasma and cells. The blood cells are which red blood cells, I had already told you, white blood cells and platelets. Most important point, RBCs are nucleated, but our RBCs are non-nucleated and contains a red color pigment that is called as hemoglobin. The lymph is different from blood, as I already told you. It lacks RBCs and proteins. The blood carries nutrients, gases, you know very well, gases, water to their side. And heart is muscular heart, already taught you. So, in next class, we will study the excretory system of frog. Till then, go through your lectures and revise your lectures properly. Thank you and all the best.